Our friends haven't been hit by a death this hard in a long time. Yeah, R.I.P. Dang. Very sad. R.I.P. I mean, what's that all about anyway? What's it? Rest in peace. What's that going to do for her? What's it going to do for me? What's it going to do for sort of all that huge network of Dang lovers and family but yes, it's sad. I don't know why it hits us so hard. Dang was relatively young. She had cancer for more than 5 years, a heavy sort of cancer, and so you'd think that you'd be more happy when the news finally comes that she's passed. I mean, the last few weeks were pretty heavy. She was calling out to her son, this kind of thing, and but yeah, she was amazing, really amazing. She was there for all the teachers, in the early days, 24 hours a day. She's organising visas and trips and clothes and your program and your events and your schedule and your friends and just absolutely everything. Loans, and she always had time for you. And she was fluent in English, which was pretty rare back in the day. 25 years ago, that was very rare in Thailand. And she was very intelligent, and yet she was also very traditional and a Thai's Thai. At quite a young age, she wasn't that much older than me, and yet she was a Thai's Thai. She could have worked for the king and queen. She's had that level of sophistication when it came to culture and knowing people. Emotional intelligence, they call it, just knowing people, and just really looked after us. Constant compliments, and she wasn't sort of one-sided or biased or helping one person more than anyone else. She really cared about the students and the teachers, and just shocked. How do you get shocked when someone was sick for 5 years, terminally ill for that length of time? Where's the shock? But if Thailand was a big part of my life, and it was, Dang was more than 50% of that, and just really making that whole experience and time special. Not once, not for a block of 2 or 3 years. Again, 9 years later down the track, again, it was like nothing had changed. And then again, very, very intelligent person, and beautiful, very very well presented. Ran the office like a, sort of a mixed ship, without being strict at all. There was never, Dang was never heavy with you, never got in your way, never was a burden. I can't ever remember Dang asking me to do anything, and yet she constantly did, but you just didn't notice it because her way was just so perfect. Really looked after us, and she wasn't, she was professional, but she wasn't standoffish. We certainly all shared some moments. Dang had some pretty heavy duty trial and tribulations over the years. She was a single mother for quite a while. Her salary wasn't particularly big, especially in the early days, and she was able to do a lot for her family, for her son and herself, and really built up a lot with restaurants, and she was there looking after her parents when they also died, a few years earlier. So she had it tough, and yet it never stopped her just giving, and it was never about Dang, it was never her issue or her problem or her burden or her headache. It was never that. She was always there for you and always there for us and doing absolutely everything. I said there before, compliments, just constantly compliments. She almost just came out with constant compliments non-stop, but there was nothing it was all genuine, which genuine, or you just made you happy. Just a great fact. You could not see Dang without smiling, without being happy, and what a unique, absolutely unique person, and unique to have that influence on people is just so unique. Imagine someone who every time you see them you feel happy, not just happy a little bit, every time, just it just improves your day, and that was quite a big deal back teaching in the day. You'd there could be some pretty heavy duty weekends. You might be coming in on a Monday or wherever we're teaching, and Dang will be the prep talker or whatever, and just incredible. Very sad. Where's the fairness? Where's the fairness? You get sort of a beautiful, extremely intelligent lady, and yet instead of sort of she was very loyal to her husband, her partner, the father of her son, even though they spent perhaps half their time completely apart. Dang was very sort of traditional or loyal, or how many wives would wait for their husband like that these days? And I don't recommend that. Don't do that. No, if your husband's in another city and you're not really together, I don't recommend sort of holding it together like that. But yeah, that's the kind of character of the person I'm talking about here. Someone who just wasn't flirting with the staff, and just was. You just never even thought of it with Dang. She just so professional and caring for everyone. And P Dang, P means older, sort of older sister, and yeah, absolutely older sister Dang. She definitely deserved that title. And by the end of it, she was just, not by the end of it, but didn't take too long at all before Dang's influence had spread across the whole of Bankstown. We were quite a booming centre. The English teaching was booming. Within 25 years, Thailand had gone from a place where maybe literally 1 in 1,000 people might speak English, to where it is now, and English is just very much commonplace. You probably have a in-depth conversation with a primary school age kid at the moment, but 25 years ago, you would need to speak to the dean. The dean who has you'd only be able to speak with people who had spent time overseas. But Dang had been an English major, and she was able to be fluent without doing that. So totally amazing lady. Just great fun. AUA, that's really hard to better that place when it comes to without a doubt the best place that I've ever worked. I'm not knocking any of these other places where I've worked, but and Dang really made that a special time. And I don't. I'm not one to sort of want to regret hard and go back and change things. I've got things I'm not happy about in the past. Disappointed with myself, like we all do. I've probably got more than others, I assume. But I don't particularly want to jump in a time machine and go back to those times. I'm a bit worried about the butterfly effect. Like you change something here and then all of a sudden, it's a dramatic flip of your life. But no, I really would like to go back to those early days with Dang and just absolutely enjoyable time. And very seamless. I went from, as everyone else, somebody who just didn't speak Thai apart from a few words, to within a few years I was you're kind of fluent, and it was just a seamless relationship with Dang. Sort of moved from English to Thai with no issue, no hang-ups. She never cared. She didn't. It was just the relationship and the communication that was important. The language was it's like wearing a shirt for her. She just wasn't important. You don't get that with a lot of people. A lot of people sort of stuck in one language, or they they want to focus on the second language because that's the language they're learning. But it just was never like that with Dang. And she knew so many people. She knew who was who. She knew who was who related to who. That intense knowledge of the whole scene of Bang Sen. I mean, she knew the politicians. She knew the politicians' wives. She knew the politicians' minor wives. She knew the friends of the minor wives of the politicians. She knew even the heavies. She knew who owned what. She knew who was the son and the daughter of what particular business. Just intense. Really, really. An amazing person, and we got the benefit. I got the benefit. Our friends got the benefit. We got to see a part of Thailand that you tourists certainly definitely wouldn't, and your average person living there for 10 years wouldn't. I mean, we were sort of ushered through. We had the contact details of the dean and this guy and that guy, and very, very well looked after. So all the best to Dang's son, Blondan. He was pretty much just a toddler when I came onto the scene there at Bang Sen, and now he's a fantastic young man. He's got some big shoes to fill there, and. To all the rest of the AUA crew, I hope you look back on the time with Dang and for what it was, and it was really special. It was just a incredible time, and thanks to Dang, really thanks to Dang. She made a lot of that happen, and this, you don't often get people in your life who you just know that they did so much more for you than you did for them. This is a clear case of that. A clear case of that, not just for me, but for thousands of people. Absolutely, without a doubt. R.I.P. Dang.